Throughout the annals of military history, the pursuit of creating the ultimate soldier has led to the development of some of the most intense, ingenious, and downright astonishing training exercises ever conceived. These grueling regimens are not merely tests of physical endurance, but are designed to push the very limits of human capability, often bordering on the unimaginable. From enduring excruciating pain to surviving the most brutal of environmental conditions, soldiers are subjected to extreme trials that seem to defy logic and reason. These exercises aren't just about preparing for battle. They are about forging warriors who can withstand any adversity, no matter how severe. In this exploration, we'll dive into the craziest military training exercises that will not only blow your mind, but will also leave you questioning the boundaries of human resilience and the lengths to which military forces will go to achieve it. Here are the craziest military training exercises that will blow your mind. 1. The Russian Hell Week. Let's kick things off with the notorious Russian Hell Week. Imagine being thrown into a week of non-stop physical and mental challenges with little to no sleep, all while battling the freezing Russian winter. Yeah, that's exactly what happens in the Russian Spetsnaz training. During this grueling week, trainees are pushed to their absolute breaking point. They're forced to march for miles with heavy packs, engage in brutal hand-to-hand combat, and even withstand the infamous cold water immersion, where they're submerged in freezing water until they're on the verge of hypothermia. The idea? To weed out anyone who isn't tough enough to make it in one of the world's most elite military units. And if that doesn't sound crazy enough, there's also something called the Spetsnaz workout, a punishing routine that includes running with weights, jumping through fire, and crawling under barbed wire. It's like an extreme version of every obstacle course you've ever seen on steroids. 2. The U.S. Navy SEALs Bud-S training. Next up, we're heading to the United States, where the Navy SEALs have one of the most legendary training programs on the planet. Bud-S, or Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL Training. This training program is so intense that only about 25% of those who start actually make it to the end. Bud-S is 6 months of pure hell, featuring a grueling combination of physical conditioning, water training, and combat drills. But the centerpiece of Bud-S is Hell Week. Imagine 5.5 days of continuous training, with only about 4 hours of sleep the entire time. During Hell Week, trainees are subjected to extreme physical and mental stress, including long runs, punishing swims in freezing water, and non-stop exercises designed to push their endurance to the limit. And if you think the ocean gives them a break, think again. They have to navigate through frigid waters, sometimes while being pounded by waves or dragged under by currents. The purpose? To simulate the chaos of combat and ensure only the toughest survive. One of the craziest parts? The surf torture, where they're ordered to lie in the freezing surf with their arms linked, letting the waves crash over them again and again. It's not just about physical toughness, it's about breaking down their willpower to see who's got the mental grit to keep going. 3. The British SAS Selection. Now, let's hop across the pond to the United Kingdom, where the British Special Air Service, or SAS, conducts one of the toughest military selection processes in the world. The SAS selection process is notorious for its difficulty. The first phase is all about endurance. Candidates are sent on brutal long-distance marches across the rugged terrain of the Brecon Beacons in Wales. They carry heavy packs and are given minimal instructions, forcing them to navigate and survive on their own. This phase alone weeds out the majority of applicants, but the real test comes during the jungle phase. Here, they have to survive for weeks, battling not just the elements, but also the psychological toll of isolation and fatigue. Imagine being completely alone, deep in the jungle, with nothing but your wits and a few supplies. It's enough to drive anyone to the brink, and if you think they're done after that, think again. The final phase is known as resistance to interrogation. This is where candidates are captured and subjected to brutal interrogation techniques, everything from sleep deprivation to stress positions, all to test how they'll hold up if they're ever captured by the enemy. 4. Taiwan's Road to Heaven. Moving on to Taiwan, we've got a training exercise that's as painful as it sounds, the Road to Heaven. This is part of the final test for the Taiwanese Marines, and it's designed to be a literal trial by fire. The Road to Heaven is a 50-meter-long stretch of jagged coral and rocks that trainees must crawl across, bare-chested. It's not enough just to survive. They have to finish it in a specific time, all while instructors shout at them, throwing sand and water to increase the difficulty. By the end of it, their bodies are torn up, their muscles are screaming, and their minds are pushed to the breaking point. But those who make it through are welcomed into the ranks as full-fledged members of Taiwan's elite high-speed amphibious reconnaissance and patrol units. 5. North Korean KPA training. Now, let's talk about a training regime that's shrouded in secrecy, but is rumored to be among the most brutal on the planet. The training of North Korea's Korean People's Army, or KPA. The KPA is known for its extreme discipline and harsh training practices. Soldiers are trained in intense hand-to-hand combat, often using live weapons and sometimes even practicing on live targets. Rumors persist of this happening as part of their shockingly brutal regimen. Beyond physical conditioning, KPA soldiers are also subjected to extreme psychological training, designed to instill absolute loyalty and a willingness to endure any hardship. This includes sleep deprivation, intense propaganda indoctrination, and grueling physical tasks that push them to the edge of their capabilities. The result is a force that's fiercely loyal and prepared to carry out their orders, no matter how extreme. And while much of this training remains hidden from the outside world, the glimpses we do get show a military force that's willing to go to terrifying lengths to ensure their soldiers are battle-ready. 6. Israeli Krav Maga training. Over in Israel, we have a training exercise that combines physical and mental toughness with deadly combat skills. I'm talking about Krav Maga, the hand-to-hand combat system developed by the Israeli Defense Forces, or IDF. Krav Maga isn't just about fighting, it's about survival. It's designed to be brutal, efficient, and lethal. During training, soldiers are taught to disarm opponents, defend against multiple attackers, and use anything and everything as a weapon. But what makes it truly intense is the way it's trained. Soldiers are often put through high-pressure simulations where they're ambushed, surrounded, and forced to fight their way out, all while exhausted from hours of previous training. It's about conditioning them to react instinctively and lethally, even under extreme stress. And let's not forget the mental aspect. Krav Maga training also includes psychological conditioning to ensure that soldiers can handle the intense pressure and fear that come with close-quarters combat. 7. The Japanese Self-Defense Forces Snow Survival Training. The Japanese Self-Defense Forces conduct snow survival training to prepare soldiers for operations in extreme cold weather conditions. One of the most bizarre aspects of this training is the igloo drill, where soldiers must build and sleep in snow shelves to learn essential survival skills. The training also includes ice water immersion, where soldiers are required to plunge into freezing water to build resilience and learn techniques for preventing hypothermia. These exercises are designed to ensure that soldiers can operate effectively in harsh winter environments. 8. The South Korean Special Forces Hell Week. Hell Week, a notorious training exercise for South Korean Special Forces, is designed to push recruits to their physical and mental limits. The exercise lasts for 7 days and includes intense physical challenges, sleep deprivation, and constant stress. One of the most bizarre elements of Hell Week is the mud crawl, where recruits must crawl through a pit of mud while being sprayed with water and shouted at by instructors. This exercise tests their endurance, teamwork, and resilience. Hell Week is considered one of the toughest military training exercises in the world. 9. French Foreign Legion's the Kepi Blanc March. And finally, let's not forget the French Foreign Legion, a force known for attracting some of the toughest men from around the world. One of their most famous training exercises is the Kepi Blanc March. This is a brutal 50-mile march through the desert, carrying heavy packs and enduring the scorching heat. It's designed to test both physical endurance and mental toughness. But the march is just the beginning. The real challenge comes with the relentless pace and the knowledge that failure means starting all over again. At the end of the march, successful recruits are awarded the Kepi Blanc, the iconic white cap of the Legion, and are officially inducted into one of the world's most legendary fighting forces. The march symbolizes the hardships they'll face in the Legion and the relentless drive needed to survive. It's a rite of passage that has been endured by thousands of men throughout history, each one leaving a piece of themselves behind in the desert. So there you have it, some of the craziest, most intense military training exercises from around the world. These programs are designed to push soldiers to their absolute limits, testing their physical endurance, mental toughness, and sheer willpower. It's hard not to respect the dedication and determination it takes to make it through these trials. If you're like me, you're probably glad you're watching this from the comfort of your couch, but it's also a reminder of the sacrifices and hardships that these soldiers endure to protect their nations. So, what do you think? Which of these training exercises do you find the most insane? Or did we miss one that you think should be on the list? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.